Welcome back to Ritual Hobby and Art. This is going to be a flip through of Creative Haven City Sites Color by Number by George Toufexis of completed pages. They'll all go from the beginning to the end, because that might be the way that you might have this book too, and it's just the way we're going to do it. Some of the materials that I used for this, just going to run through those real quick. If I use water-soluble pencil, it's going to be using this Prismacolor Premier, 36 colors. I usually apply it with this, and then I use, one of these things to work out, activate the color to make it kind of like a watercolor. Also sometimes use brushes. One of the pictures is done with this Crayola Blend and Shade set, which I don't use very often. It has a certain color to it that I use it a lot in the Around the World book, also by George Toufexis. A few of the pictures may be done with this Scholar. This is Prismacolor Scholar, sort of like a colored pencils for beginners, which I am, and so I don't feel like I really am ready for the really soft Prismacolor pencils, plus they're also very expensive. Sometimes I have used gouache. So here's a gouache paint set from Hobby Lobby, Master's Touch. This is an older one. I have a newer one, but if the colors still work, I still use it. And then a lot of the pictures are done with this Kalour premium colored pencils. I say most of them, actually probably maybe half of them, because there's another type of pencil called SSK Stationery that my wife got with a coloring book from a friend that she never used, so she gave them to me. And so they have a very kind of a light color to them. You'll see them as I go through them. So Kalour premium colored pencils is the one kind, and the SSK is the other. That is primarily seen in this book. So I don't know how the color works with this light. That might be better. So there's the first one. This is one of the first ones I did. So it's a little rougher than some of the others. This would be done with the SSK, I believe. The SSK Stationery. Laura's Bistro. And this one has a beginning and end, June 1st through July 13th of 2024. And it was done in Kalour. This one is done in, I believe, in gouache. Yeah, that looks like gouache paint to me. So that would have been the Master's Touch. And I like using gouache because sometimes it helps me. You can mix the colors. You can get whatever color you want. You're not limited to the colored pencils you might have or markers or whatever you're using. It does give the page kind of a wrinkly feel, but that doesn't bother me. There's a lady walking a dog. I believe this is in actually both. It's got some water-soluble pencil in there as well as the SSK. And when I think when it says water-soluble, I think it was just using the pencil. I don't think any of this has been activated. Maybe this has been activated. This and this, they may have been activated, but the rest of them are not. This looks like this is a water-soluble pencil drawing. I can tell the way it's done. This was done in 2023, within a month. Some of these are going to be just a couple months it took to do them. One or two I think was done in 24 hours, and some take well over a year. So this is not my primary hobby. It's just something I do when I feel like it. San Francisco with the streetcar. This is done in SSK, and it's one of the better ones done in the SSK. It blends out a little better than some of the others do. I'm not as heavy-handed with the pencils. This one is not done, but when I do go to do it, because of all the green or whatever color this is, actually some green and some reds and some oranges. For all this color, I think I'll do that with gouache paint. I think I will have a better picture if I use gouache paint on that than a colored pencil type thing. This is actually the first one I did in this book, the Venice, the Grand Canal scene. So this would be done in SSK. And I remember at the time really enjoying doing that particular picture. And that's not done. Not done. This was an interesting one. In the Chicago Theater. When I started this, down here I was using marker. I'm not sure why. This bus, sort of a pink bus, and all this other stuff. I think at first I thought it was an ambulance. And I thought, why is this pink? And I realized it was a bus. So down here is sort of like a using colored marker activity. And I stopped. And so the rest of it is done in gouache paint to try to bring back the picture as best as I could. And I think I did a decent job, especially over here with the sign and that sort of thing. You know, again, this is early on using gouache paint in coloring books. This one, I'm not sure where this is, the upside down traffic light. I've looked that up. They've suggested Ireland, as well as there's an intersection in New Jersey. Well, this is not New Jersey. This is definitely somewhere else with that double-decker bus. If you know where this location is or could be, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, this would have been done with the SSK, and this is early on. Really, really rough how I did the trees. This is before I got like the blending pencil. So if you get like a blending pencil like this thing and learn to really kind of work that in, smooth it out a little bit, which is what I try to do now. There's the Chinatown image, or that may be in China, I'm not sure. The only reason I think this is Chinatown because of the word restaurant right here. And so that's why I think this is a Chinatown in a city, an American city somewhere. This would have been SSK. It's another, and it says SSK. This was done early 2023. And this is, you know, at a point where I'm doing a little better job of blending things out. I kind of thought this looked like Central Park, New York City. You got the pond, but you have this architecture over here that's sort of that New Amsterdam type type buildings that you see around the park. Here's one in Kalour, done in 2022. I discovered them on another channel I used to follow. She has Color Creativity. I love that channel, but she like deleted the entire channel, so it's no longer available. None of these have names. I just kind of gave them names. I think this is an SSK. It could also be Crayola. It's very possibly it could be Crayola, a little squirrel up in the tree there. Now, I always call this the Italian fine dining, but there's really nothing to suggest this is Italian. It's just outdoor dining. This would have been done in SSK. This picture was done in 24 hours. It's done in SSK. It's done when I was on vacation and didn't have much else going on, so I worked on this one day and finished it the next. It's about the fastest picture that's done in this book. This one was done with the Prismacolor Scholar. I did not like the way it came out. I don't know if you can tell, the red is a little too, or the red here is not red enough. The brown, it kind of muddles together. The green comes out a little highlighted up here. It doesn't blend well. And that's probably my technique. It's probably not the fault of the pencils, but it didn't work for me, so I didn't use it a lot in this book. Firehouse, this is SSK. Cheese Shop. This is one of the better ones I used SSK on. I think I finally figured out, it's hard to tell in this picture with the light, but I kind of figured out how to make the color pop a little better. So. This is Crayola Blend and Shade, and it may be the only one in here of that kind. It's an okay pencil to use. I felt like it was not as defining as Kalour, but again, that may be my fault, not the fault of the pencil. Here's your cover. This is done in Kalour, and this took over a year, from August 13th of 24 to September 14th of 25. So here's your cover design. Now, I think these are digitally colored. And I'm never going to get anything that looks anywhere near that, but I'm not trying either. This is a coloring book that I'm going to color the way I want to, and I don't feel it needs to look exactly like inside they always have, what they should look like, and of course I never get them to that quality because I think it's digitally colored, and I can't color that well. I can't color like a computer. So we got the hot dog stand. This is one of the first I did, so it's a little raw. That would have been SSK. Fruit stand I have not done yet. Baseball hats I have not done yet. This is the rooftops is what I call it. This would have been done in SSK. And Statue of Liberty I'm kind of putting off till the end because we're familiar with that image, and I'm just it's not like the other ones where it's something new. The newsstand, this is also SSK. Try and give you a little bit of a better angle here to see some of those colors. The light with the SSK, I think the light bleeds it out. I liked this one. I like the way, now this is SSK, and I like the way, worked with the rocks or the stone on the building and the planters. I like the way that kind of came out. This was the first one I did with the Prismacolor Scholar. It was really rough. I don't like the way it came out. It comes out bright, but there's a lot of mess. Just the way the color was applied. It was not my finest. If I could go back, I'd go back with a blending pencil and kind of really work that out. But I leave it the way it is, not trying to improve on it, to use it as sort of a guide to help see the progress, how I'm progressing in my skill, how I'm you don't want to clean everything up. You always want to have something to kind of look at the way you did it before. So I'm going to leave that just the way it is. This one I just finished recently. This was finished 5/11. This was finished on our vacation that we just took. And so we got this this was done in Kalour pencils. And so it started out okay. I think I got better as I got down the pick. Now, this much of it would have been done on vacation. This much would have been done, at home as I got to it back in February. So we have rooftop with a kitty cat, SSK. The playground. This was one of my favorites to do. This is your back cover. So there's the back cover. It's a ferry boat. I call it a ferry boat. I'm not sure what it really is, but I did this in gouache paint because I wanted that red to really stand out amongst this cityscape in the background. And so I'm not sure that my colors of the clouds, that's the color that they asked for. That's what I put in, but that was a really fun one to do. And of course, again, that was done with gouache paint. The moped. Snow scene. I did this snow scene in early 2023 while I was in Iowa with family. And it was snowing there. So it really kind of worked out. This is in Kalour. Because it's snow, a lot of the paper I didn't color at all. Now, a lot of people can probably get in there and do some coloring in there using different kind of shades of gray, that sort of thing. When I do painting, I paint snow in. I don't leave the page blank. But with color pencils, I really haven't gotten to that point. So anyway, that's the only snow scene in here. And I think obviously it's a Christmas scene because you've got the Christmas trees and that sort of thing, but it can be any time during winter. Sailboat scene. This is in SSK. This is an interesting one. I don't know what that's, I mean, you know, that reminds me of Savannah or Charleston or anywhere that you have palm trees. Could be anywhere. As I color in, sometimes things become more aware of where they are because buildings gain color, that sort of thing. And these all need to be done. This one I call moped and telephone pole, or telephone box. This would have been done with Kalour pencils. This one, another rooftop, SSK. It says MT here, so I don't know where this is supposed to be, but that might be a clue. The trumpet busker. This was done about within, what, 3 days. That is fast. Between August 10th and the 13th of 2024, I was down in Chattanooga for a little vacation. That's probably why it got done so fast. This would have been done in Kalour. So we have the trumpet busker because he's collecting money. So he's a street performer. We got palm trees here. So I always assume this was New Orleans, but it could be Charleston. It could be Savannah. It could be different places. Probably not Memphis, not with the palm trees. I mean, jazz. That's why I thought it was New Orleans or something like that. This is the one that I'm doing currently. This is that crooked street in San Francisco. This is in Kalour. This was started the same day that I finished that other one. And so, so it started with Kalour. I've not done a lot of blending. That'll happen later, towards the end. I have these, so they have in the beginning, you know, it has your guide. It shows what colors the numbers represent. I then take it a step further and make little sheets to kind of go over what the colors are and what pencils that I will use for my set, so I don't have to go back and forth to the beginning every time I encounter a number. Now, this set of, I think some of these are Kalour colors and some of them are Crayola colors. It's hard to tell. Like indigo blue is not in the Kalour set. I use cobalt blue for 24. So that 301, that must be something else. Same with peach. I don't use peach in... I think that peach and some of these are Crayola colors. Crayola Blend and Shade colors. Anyway, it's a good, helpful way to have something close at hand and not have to go back and forth. So that is my completed pages of City Sites by George Toufexis. I've had this book since 2019. It's not my top hobby. My top hobby is woodworking, followed by painting and aircraft and all kinds of other things. So this is something I do, you know, on a Saturday night while listening to music. I'll work in my, because it's very simple. You just get your media out, you look at the number, and you just color it in. And that to me is relaxing and doesn't require a lot of thinking. So hope you enjoyed this and keep coloring.